Police authorities in Auckland have busted a drug racket. The investigation trail led to the arrest of Baltej Singh. He is the nephew of Satwant Singh. Remember, Satwant Singh and fellow bodyguard had assassinated Indira Gandhi back in the year 1984. This is the latest that we are bringing to you, a drug bust that's taken place in Auckland. Let's quickly go across to Siddhant Mishra, who's joining me on the phone line with the latest. Siddhant, if you could break down the story for us.
Well, that's right. So this drug bust has taken place in Auckland. And in fact, the significance of this case is, and why we are reporting it, simple reason is that the person who has been arrested has a background. And the name of that person is Baltej Singh. He happens to be the nephew of Satwant Singh, the same person who killed former Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi. Late in 80s, the entire family moved to New Zealand and they started a real estate business. They, in fact, made good money from that business and they have been living here. Now, this Baltej Singh is also popular in the local gurudwaras in Auckland, and in fact, he is at times hailed, several times, oftenly he is hailed for being Satwant Singh's nephew. Now, in last few weeks, we have seen that across the globe there has been protest on the issue of Amritpal Singh, and Auckland was one epicenter where protest had taken place, and in fact is also taking place as far as the issue of Amritpal Singh is concerned. In fact, there were multiple billboards and publicity boards where Amritpal Singh's banners and posters were also put up. So, going by the information that we have is that Baltej Singh, who has been arrested in this drug bust case, is a boss of the separatist movement in Auckland. So, in this regard, this particular news break is important,
Right,
and significant, and carries a significance for India. Back to you.
Siddhant, it's interesting that you mentioned those protests with regards to Amritpal. But having said that, has there been any sort of connection that's been established between the two?
Well, in every country, separatist groups look for a person who is wealthy, who can use his political and muscle might to influence the citizens and also to push the propaganda and to spread the propaganda in that country. So for the separatist forces, Baltej Singh was a good option, and this is perhaps the reason that in fact he is oftenly hailed at gurudwaras. He's also called for religious functions at many places in Auckland because he's seen as somebody who has a background of coming from a separatist ideology, and this is perhaps the reason that he holds a very good reputation amongst the people there in Auckland. And this is perhaps the reason that he has been fueling anti-India voices. He has been supporting anti-India voices, and perhaps he also is connected with the recent protests which took place in Auckland related over the Amritpal Singh's issue. Because in fact, when those pictures of billboards and publicity hoardings full of Amritpal pictures did appear on the social media platform, everybody started questioning that where these funds are coming from. Because on such important sites, on billboards, if Amritpal's poster has been put, then who is funding them? So that is a big question perhaps everywhere.
Right. And when you talk about the funding, this is in fact a huge sort of shot in the arm. If say a Baltej Singh has been caught in a drug bust case, only goes on to in fact indicate further where that funding is coming from, especially as far as the role of separatists is concerned.
Absolutely. And in fact, also, time and again, India has flagged off the issue of separatists with these countries. And at times, these countries have also acted against these groups and then under the pressure from the Indian government. But it is a high time for these countries to understand that these people are not just revolutionaries or normal protesters. They are hand in gloves. They are working in connivance with the drug cartels.
Right.
They are working in connivance with people involved in dirty works, and such cases once again reestablishes. And what India has been trying to convey to them from a very long time.
And
That
and
this
in
is not
fact,
just
Siddhant,
India's.
right, and when you talk about what India, the kind of message that India has been delivering, that brings me the image of Prime Minister Modi, in fact, reaching out with regards to this issue to the UK Prime Minister when he raised what happened at the Indian High Commission in London. What has happened in Auckland today? Of course, a lot of credit goes to the government of New Zealand. But having said that, should this now be setting a sort of example for other countries like Australia and Canada and the UK as well?
Well, that's right. So as I was mentioning, that these governments are ignorant. They take these separatist forces in a very casual manner. They think that this is India's problem. This is not their problem. But it is a high time for these countries to realize that it is no more India's problem. If today it is India's problem, then tomorrow it can become their problem also.
Right.
Look at the vandalism taking place across the globe. Now this drug bust case, which clearly establishes link of separatist forces to the drug cartels existing in New Zealand. And in fact, it would be very premature to do commentary further. But when full investigation will take place, maybe their police forces, authorities will also realize that how closely these groups are working in connivance with each other.
Absolutely. Many thanks to you, Siddhant, for extensively explaining this entire story.